LYVATION, ENT.
This is DJ Strong once again with another special Livations Conversation episode, man. This is our celeb edition, and we got some very special guests this evening. I want to thank our talented panel for being here as always. And don't forget, man, y'all always can log on and check us out, 3amstudios.biz, for all of your personal production needs right here in the Atlanta metro area. With that being said, I'm gonna pass it over to my man, LA, our resident author, radio executive, super producer, the man himself. LA, are you with us tonight?
Yes, I am, and it is good to be here once again. I'd like to welcome all our usual suspects as well as the new ones. And yeah, we've got another great episode tonight. We've got a gentleman named Jawz of Life. I first met him about 10, 15 years ago. I don't know if he remembers, but we used to do that Bar Red Entertainment Hot Like Fire Thursdays at the Atrium, and we used to run into each other all the time.
Yeah, so, I remember.
Man, it's
this place grayed out though. I see you done grayed out on me.
Yeah, man. So time catches up to all of us. That's something we can never get back, but we can always get those memories and cherish those memories and those moments. So without further ado, I'd love to welcome you to our show. It's a real interesting forum, and I'm just proud to, see you back again. I was online looking around and checking out all the great things you've been doing. I'll probably have a question or two to ask you as well, but man, I'm just so proud and honored to know you and have you on the show. So welcome to LYVATION Conversations.
Appreciate it, man. Thank y'all for having me. Thank you, Strong, for reaching out, man. I'm loving what y'all doing. I peeped the videos that you sent me. And I was like, oh yeah, this is definite, no doubt.
Yeah. Hey, man, we just blessed to be here, man, and blessed to have you with us today, man. So with that being said, I just want to give you a big round of applause.
Thank you, sir.
On us tonight. And, just in your career, I want to give you applause. I want to applaud you on your career choice, brother.
Thank you, man.
Because it takes a special kind of person to do the things that we do. Not only do them, but be very good at what you do.
And have longevity.
You know what I'm saying? So I want to thank you for that. And I'm going to get right to it, Jawz. We're going to cover some of your music and some stuff like that. But before we get to that good stuff, I got to get right into it, man.
All right.
This is the biggest question, man. This is the biggest question that our viewers out there want to know, bro. And I know you're probably the only one that can answer this.
What's that?
Is a really greater indicator?
Absolutely, sir. Absolutely. That goes without saying. Yes, sir. Yes,
that's what's up, bro. And then I got one more thing, and then I'm gonna pass it to some of our other panelists because they're pretty excited about meeting you. They've been listening to your music the last couple of days, so they got a lot of things to share with you. But why the name Jawz of Life?
Well, it came to me, man. One day it really wasn't by my choice. It was given to me. It came to me one day. I was watching the news, and it was a real bad car accident on the news. And, I tell the story all the time. That was one of the times where I literally heard God's voice audibly. You know what I mean? Like the voice. That was one of the times. And when I was watching it, I heard him say, because they had to use the emergency Jawz of Life to get the person out of the car. And I heard him say, "That's your name." And so I was like, wow, I'm looking around, I'm like, okay, sir, I get it. You know what I'm saying? When I heard that, when he said it, and then he went on he said, just like the emergency Jawz of Life, you're going to use your two jaws to help people out of their situations.
Right. And it's funny you say that, man, because, and that's a good story too, because I always wondered that. I never got a chance to ask you that. But it's funny. I'm going to say this, and I'm going to step back and let some of our other panelists introduce themselves. But it's funny you say that because when I was, I notified everybody and I sent the memo out letting everybody know who we were going to be talking to. somebody came back, was like, is this interview about search and rescue? And I thought about it for a second. I'm like, it is about search and rescue. You know what I'm saying? When you think about what's going on with the music, yeah, we got to search for your music so you can save some of these lives out here. You understand what I'm saying? Doubt. So this is definitely a search and rescue kind of interview. So with that being said, I'm going to let the ladies go first. I'm going to send it over to Tia. She out there in Philly right now. You know it's hot
What's
out
up, Tia?
Philly.
Hey, how you doing, Jawz?
I'm wonderful. How are you?
I'm blessed and highly favored.
Good.
That's the only way to be. Funny that people mentioned, you know, that was my question, one of them. And it's funny because when he said, you know, when he sent us details of who you were, and I'm like, Jawz of Life, I immediately thought of that situation about how the firefighters used Jawz to save lives. And then I went to your page and I checked out the duet with CC LaFleur.
Okay. Yeah.
And I dug that. I was like, all right, is that like your most recent project, or you got something cooking now?
No, the most recent project, my solo most recent project is a EP titled "Hungry Kids Can't Eat Moon Rocks."
Okay,
that's the most recent project. And
then I did see that on the site.
Right. And then I collabed with a guy by the name of Khalid Salam. And we came up with the group name Solomon's Baby, and
I love it.
And so that's the latest, you know, actual body of music that I had out. But I am working on something now, and it should be dropping within the next month or so.
Okay, well, I'm definitely digging the spiritual part totally. So being a Christian person myself. Hey, I'm gonna be looking out for you.
No doubt. Appreciate it.
Was Khalees from like Decatur, Illinois, or something like that? I saw something that was kind of interesting, that both of y'all from two Decaturs in two different states.
Yeah, that's, you know, and that's how we just smile, man. When he told me, I had no idea, you know, until we just, you know, got to chopping it up in the studio before we even started recording. We've been knowing each other a long time. You know, we came up in the Atlanta Underground pretty much around the same time. And, you know, we had already said we wanted to work together. We had done a couple of songs in the past, but, you know, he approached me. He was like, Jawz, I want to do a whole project for you. So he produced the whole thing, man. And, you know, people have been definitely feeling the music, the whole thing. So shout out to Khalid.
Awesome.
I also thought it was pretty cool. I think it was on that Bandcamp side that y'all did an emulation of Malcolm and Martin. You had
that's the title. The title single off the album, Malcolm and Martin. So, you know, me being of the Christian faith, he being of the Muslim faith, we just wanted to, you know, come together and let people know that, you know, no matter what God you go to, you know, it should be based in love, and that's why we wanted to do it. The original concept I had a while back was for me and Killer Mike to actually do the song. I wanted to be Malcolm. I was going to let Killer be, I'm sorry, I want to be Martin. I want Killer to be Malcolm. But we never could I couldn't get in contact with him or whatever, but I always had the idea still in the back of my head. So when I heard the track, I was like, yo, this is it, man. And I presented the idea to Kay, and he was like, yeah, I'm feeling that. We just ran with it.
I came across one of your other singles you put out, man. You did a song with Sadat X, and forgive me because the name, I just heard a snippet of it, bro. And I'm gonna go when we get off this. I'm gonna ride home to that tonight. You know? Yeah. Sadat X is one of my favorites. You know what I'm saying? And that really threw me. I'm like, oh man.
Yeah, man.
That was a nice joint I listened to, man. That was nice.
You go digging for my stuff, you're going to come up with some stuff. You know what I mean? So,
yeah, man.
You go digging, you're going to come up with it.
Because he a hard brother to get up with. How did that come about, man?
Well, Diamond D produced his last album. Shout out to Diamond. Y'all know who the legendary Diamond D is, I'm sure. And he did Sadat's last album, The Sum of a Man.
Okay.
And so he reached out to me. He was like, hey, man, I got a track that I want you to jump on with Sadat X. And I was like, no doubt. And, you know, he sent it to me. and he just wanted me to write the hook for it. So went in there, laid the hook, and next thing I know, I'm in New York on 125th in Harlem shooting the video.
I saw that. Yeah. That was big.
Yeah.
That was big. Had you met Sadat before? Had y'all did anything prior?
No, we had met. We met that night, man. That day, and we vibed the whole night. And I think it may have been a 2-shoot day. I mean, a 2-day shoot.
Mm-hmm.
But we definitely kicked it that night, man. We really shot the video. It was like on the fly. It was so organic. You know what I mean? Like it was just me walking the streets in New York, being from Atlanta. You know, I gotta kind of feel how Outkast went when they went, you know, the same feeling when they went up there. Right, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
You
Caught
know,
that whole vibe, yeah.
Right, but I had recorded my first album back in 2001. I recorded in New York.
Okay.
I would, you know, shout out to Blue Maze Entertainment, man. I was signed to that independent label, and I would go up there on the weekends, and record a lot of. They said, hey, if you can, because they were based out of New York. They said, if you can get up here, you can use the studio. Right. So that's around the time Value Jet was with it. I was using my budget, and I was getting up there for the Lolo on the weekend, man, and recording. So yeah, I was definitely familiar with New York, but just being back and, you know, being with those legends, man, was just off the chain. It was priceless.
It's one thing that I noticed, man, consistent with, you know, your whole discography, man, and I was trying to, you know, come up with some words to describe your sound, and the only thing I could really come up with, man, was musical composition, man. Because your stuff is musical. Yeah. You understand what I'm saying? Like, you got some good instrumentation going on.
Thank you, bro. I appreciate it. Man. I like to take time with my music, you know. I got a line in my upcoming one of my upcoming songs that say I'm good with this, like Rick Ross picking beats. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like Rick Ross is a great beat selector. You know what I'm saying? Like his
definitely.
It's just, you know, the Maybach music, Jokers, man, the sound, it's always so theatrical and so, you know, movie-ish. You know what I mean? Like
definitely for soundtracks all day.
Yeah. Super dope. Like his production ear is awesome, man. So, you know, I like to really take time. You know, I get a lot of tracks, and I know a lot of producers, like, they hate, well, I ain't gonna say they hate working with me, but I'm real picky. I'm real finicky. But I say at the end of the day, we're gonna definitely come up with just be patient with me. We're gonna come up with some great stuff.
Okay, it's not wrong with knowing what you want, bro. That's
right,
for sure.
Exactly.
Yeah. Right. I was a strong sent the link out to us and everything. I checked out. You got a very nice catalog.
Appreciate it.
And you know, it's like one of your songs, I noticed a lot of them is like free downloads, and then it's like one of his songs, you was like, I'm tired of giving away music for free. I was like, but you got all this catalog, you letting people download it, bro. But I'm loving your wordplay, man. You're definitely a wordsmith, and I know you're a member of the Dungeon family, but so you're around some gifted brothers, gifted MCs, but the tone of your voice, even sitting here talking now, if I close my eyes, I'm picturing 3000. Are y'all blood related, or it's just y'all just been hanging around, or that's just that Decatur slang?
It's just Atlanta, man. You know, it's Atlanta. And you'll hear it more so on different records than, you know, it just depends on, like, I try to cater to whatever beat I'm giving, you know, so you may hear it come out a little bit more on a down south.
No, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying his rhyme style. I'm just saying your voice just talking is like is that three? No, it's not.
I mean, I've gotten that before. I've gotten you know, Timo from Goody Mob actually called me a Southern Jay-Z. You know what I mean? Because I articulate it, but I still got the
respect the Timo,
the slang. You know what I mean? So yeah, I've gotten that, man, and it's no, I take it as a compliment, man, all the time. Like, you know, I don't try to sound like nobody, but I can't help who I put you in the mind frame of, and that's the GOAT to me. You know, Andre 3000 is just like, you know,
lyrical greatness, man, lyrical greatness.
How did you come to be a part of the, you know, the Dungeon family second generation? Actually,
my next
how did that
question.
come about? I'm sorry. You know we all on the same frequency, man. So.
Great question. Well, I go back to the story. DJ Hurricane from the Beastie Boys. Y'all remember DJ Hurricane, right?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So we lived not too far from each other, and back in the day in Decatur. So he called me one day. He was my acting manager at the time. Right around the time I dropped my first album. So he was just really trying to help me get it pushed, you know, introduce me to Def Jam South and all this type of stuff. So he called me over to the house one day and he was like, Jawz, I got somewhere I wanted to, you know, he was like, come over to the house. I was like, okay, bet. So jumped in the car, man. You know, when you on that level, when they tell you to come somewhere, you go. You know,
you don't even ask, right? You just be,
don't even ask questions. You know what I'm saying?
You're like, I'm outside. Like, what?
Yeah, I knew it was gonna be. He's done me like that several times. I'll tell you about another story too if we got time. But he's done me like that several times. But this time, he was like, man, come over to the house. I was like, bet. So I got over there. He met me at the door. He didn't say that, but he said, get in the car, taking you somewhere. I was like, all right, cool. So I'm still trusting now. I'm rolling. Yeah. So there was at the time there's 2 dungeons. Okay, is wherever Rico Wade lived. And
that was the dungeon, right?
Yeah, that was the dungeon. And then Ray Murray of Organized Noize, 1/3 Organized Noize. Shout out to Ray. At his house was Dungeon East because he lived on the east side. So he's in Decatur, right? So we not too far. I didn't know at the time, but we wasn't too far from Ray. So he jumped in the car. We rolling, man, and Ray's house was off of a street, but it looked like when you turn into this driveway, it was nothing but woods. It was very dungeon and eerie, and you know what I'm saying? I was like, man, where you? And I'm looking over at Hurricane. I'm like, man, where you taking me? You know what I'm saying? Back in the woods. This Atlanta. Yeah, this Atlanta. You know,
you're about to get initiated. You heard about them stories.
Yeah, you ain't told me nothing. You know, I'm trusting you, man. So we go through the woods, and then you got to go down a little hill. And when you come down the hill, his house opened up, and I was like, okay, that's a nice little crib. And then I look up, and it's like the best way I can describe how the studio was. It was up some stairs, and it was like almost like a tree house on stilts. You know what I mean? Like on poles or whatever. So walk up the stairs, and I open the door, and it was nothing but like graffiti on the wall and everything. It's just like a real studio, you know. And then I noticed the Outkast plaques, and I'm like, wait a minute. Who is this dude? Where are we? You know what I mean? And so he introduced me. He was like, Jawz, I want you to meet Ray Murray, and Ray, this is Jawz. And I'm like, okay, cool. So I still really didn't know who Ray was, you know. And we in Atlanta, we see entertainers all the time. So I'm seeing the plaques. I'm like, okay, he got to be somebody. Who is this dude? So we vibed for a minute, man. I'm still looking around. I started looking at the door where everybody, because he got everybody signing the door, and it's nothing but the dungeon. And I was like, okay. All right, so I got to be somewhere with this dude know the family. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And come to find out, I had, before I even knew Ray, I had already had Timo and Wish Doctor from the dungeon on my first album. Mm-hmm. So, of course, you know, me seeing all these and seeing their faces, I'm like, yo, take a copy of this album. You know, I got your family on here. You know what I'm saying?
For sure.
And so he took the record, man, and we took the album and listened to it. That album actually won a Hip Hop Artist of the Year award for 2001, I believe, 2002. Mm-hmm. It was presented to me by 99X, but so he checked it out, man. Next thing you know, I was coming back over there. We linked, man, and he became like a big brother to me. You know what I mean? So Ray pretty much brought me in. You know what I mean? And that was around 2003, and you've been
rocking ever since.
Yeah, been rocking with him ever since. Yep,
for sure. Hey, D, you got something for Jawz over there?
Well, I tell you, man, I just wanted to, since we got an audience that's watching this show, if you could, brother, so nice to meet you, man. And I love New Day, man. That's hidden.
New Day, yeah,
man.
Okay.
Wow. Yeah, for older brother that's in hip hop, man. That was really lovely, man. Awesome. But take our viewers back to the beginning.
Okay.
When you started, man.
So when I started, okay, let's go back to Alcorn State. Let's go down. Let's take it to college, man. Shortstop, had a promising career. Recruited by the Padres. Love baseball. Born and raised Gresham Park, Atlanta, Georgia. If you know anything about Gresham Park and baseball, you know, we didn't play at the time. You know, times have changed, but we didn't play at the time. You know what I'm saying? But so I went to Alcorn State on the scholarship. I actually had a chance to play shortstop because Steve McNair wasn't allowed to play football, even though he got drafted out of high school. I mean, he wasn't allowed to play baseball. I'm sorry. They didn't let him play. So who they called? They called me. So got a chance to shine, man. But it didn't work out, right? So I remember getting two things I remember about being at school. One was one of my homeboys that was from Atlanta, because there was a whole bunch of Atlanta people going down to Alcorn. You know, we all was blessed to have scholarships, all baseball buddies, right? So one of the guys gave me an Outkast tape. It's funny how everything is 360, man. He gave me an Outkast tape. He was like, man, have you heard of these guys? And I was like, nah, who's that? You know, and it's around the time when, what was the show? Donnie Simpson and you be
Video Soul.
Right. Video Soul. Yeah, this is my time to Video Soul. Yeah. So here I am. You know,
way back.
I'm chilling watching Video Soul, man, and I see the video. I see the Outkast video. You know, I think it was Players Ball where Andre had on the Braves jersey. Right. I'm in Mississippi in the country, and I'm looking at the home team representing Atlanta like, yo, what's going on at the crib? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So,
got homesick real quick, didn't you?
What'd you say?
You got homesick real quick when you saw that.
They had Camera Roll on there at the end of the video, and I'm looking like, yo, they in the woods. I'm like, it just blew me, man. It just blew me away. You know what I'm saying? So then I was like, I started freestyling at school, just being off of inspiration. It was that, and then I heard Wu-Tang, 36 Chambers, and I heard the RZA. I mean, I heard well, I think it was the RZA mentioned something about fallopian tubes. And I was like, yo, y'all listen to that? It just blew me away, man. It just blew me away. Like you said, the wordplay and the lyricism. So I was like, man, you know, if this baseball don't work out, I'm going to give this a shot. You know what I mean?
Right.
And so when I got home, I used to.
I mean, were you rhyming though? Were you putting bars together at that point, or?
Yeah, I started rhyming in school in my dorm room. You know what I'm saying? Like I would rhyme. You know, and.
Plus, you were in college, so you're around a lot of books. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, that's a whole other story.
Right.
You wasn't around a lot of books.
No, I wasn't around no books. That's why I kept rapping. But so I came home, man, and you know we used to hang out on Friday nights at my friend's house, Tim and Mimi, and I was in their basement and I was freestyling, whatever. And one of my homeboys I went to school with played baseball. He was like, man, you need to take this serious, man. I was like, word. He was like, yeah, man. Like, you got skill. I was like, okay. Well, shoot, I'm going to do that then. So I went home and made a little tape. And he had told me, I can't remember who told me, but another one of my homeboys from Gresham Park had a little independent label.
Okay. So
I went home and made my little demo tape. This is at the time, y'all may be too young for this. But this is the time we was.
I was way before my time. Go ahead.
we was pressing. We was pressing record, man, and then you know what I'm saying, recording out the other one. You know, so you got the tape in there, then you record. So I'm down there with the mic, and I'm down there doing my thing while the music coming out. So I made a little demo tape.
Right.
The original. That's real talk. Like, I wish I still had that tape.
Started,
Might be worth something right now.
Right.
So I gave the tape to the guy who had the label. He called me the next day. He was like, yo, hey man, this is my label. The label's called Comanche Records. He said, I don't know if you remember my cousin Applejack. You know, he's the DJ. They got a group called Showtime. So I was like, okay, cool. So I hooked up with Applejack. They was working on the album. And on that album was my first feature on a song called Sweet 16. Shout out to Applejack, because if it wasn't for Jack, I wouldn't be here. But that was my first time, and that was around about 96, 97.
You done told your age now. Okay.
Yeah, it's all good. Hey, man, it's all good. It's all good. So then after that, you know, Comanche Records really wasn't, you know, we were all learning at that point. You know, we all started. We didn't really, you know about how to the budgets and everything like that. So he was, you know, he believed in me so much that he turned me over to a bigger label, a bigger independent, which was Blue Maze Records. Okay. And that's when I started working on First Breath. So First Breath was my first album. Everybody's, you know, that's my Illmatic, that's my Reasonable Doubt. Like, you know, you ask somebody in Atlanta about First Breath, they're gonna say, yeah, that was Jawz. You know,
I like the cover of that too, man. The cover is dope.
With the mic in the mouth.
Yeah, that's
right?
dope. I like that.
That came from the old Tampa Bay Buccaneers logo with the paintbrush. I used to love that, man. That orange and that, you know what I mean? That Tampa Bay with the pirate.
Yeah,
and I thought, you know what? I want to do the mic in the mouth.
That's dope. That's a dope CD right there.
Appreciate it, bro. Appreciate it. And that's
I still got that CD somewhere too, because I remember you gave me that one. You signed it for me. You didn't forget it. It was at the Atrium one night. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, we used to rock the Atrium. That was fun.
Yeah, man.
So that's how. And then my first show. Funny story about my first show. My first show was October 31st, 1999 at MJQ. So you know you got to bring it in MJQ. Right. You know what I'm saying? So it was the featured verse. Showtime had a show at MJQ. I got on stage, and I said, I told one of the guys that was on the song with, because it was a four MC song, right? So I told one of the guys that was on the song, I said, well, before we went on, I was nervous as more. I said, man, look, I performed my whole verse with my hat like this, and I'm rapping.
You wasn't trying to be
if I lift my head up.
No, he wasn't trying to see the crowd.
He wasn't trying to see them.
I wasn't trying to see. I said, if I lift my head up and these people feeling me, I'm doing this. If they don't, I'm going with my hat and I'm walking straight out the door.
Well, obviously it worked out.
They were feeling you, boy. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna keep on pushing it, man. And then it just kind of, you know, things just kind of went on from there. I started working on First Breath. First Breath actually got me a deal with Budweiser. I was a Budweiser True Music Live artist around 2003. Shot my first video. The first video I ever shot, y'all, was in Bangkok, Thailand.
Wow.
Ain't that crazy?
Major. That's major.
Wow.
Yeah, my first video I ever shot was in Bangkok, Thailand. I had like 3 attorneys, man. They just believed in me, man. And they just like, yo, you know, they saw it before it really started happening, how stuff was popping off overseas. And they was like, yo, you need to be heard over there, man. We'll invest in you. They got me the ticket. We was over there for 10 days. In 10 days, we went over. We really didn't have a plan, but we went over there. We found producers. Everything was on the fly. We found producers. We found a studio. We got a track. We recorded the song and shot the video in 10 days.
That's big.
The 10th day, I actually left the video shoot and went back to the airport. So I didn't even really know the record good yet. If you look at the video, I got earbuds in my ear because I didn't even know what I was saying yet. I'm listening to the track trying to mumble the words because I wasn't used to it. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
So that was my first time, man. That was my first video was actually shot in Bangkok, Thailand. Not too many independent people can say that. You know what I mean?
Right. Okay, so
that's major.
So what you just gave us, man, was the prep to your bio movie out of Atlanta.
There it is.
Yeah.
There it is.
With the facts and everything. I said it, fellas, lady. All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
So when we see the promo,
AD your co-producer now, so it's going down.
Let's go with it.
Because I would watch that movie, man. I would be totally interested in it.
Yeah, it's a great story, man. My story is a great story, man. And it's been all, you know,
it's God's favor, man, all over you.
I mean,
I'm just saying it.
I mean, he told me, he said, you know, if you do what I tell you to do, I'll preserve the youth. You know what I mean? And
come on, somebody.
What he said. You know what I'm saying? I feel good, you know. I don't know what age is. I said in the verse too, I said, old is a mind state that I never been to.
Say it.
You know what I'm saying? Like I haven't traveled mentally to being old. I don't know what old is. My spirit will never know what old is. You know what I mean? So
I think we all share that commonality, man.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's like music. It's entertainment gonna keep you young, man. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
All you gotta do is let it do what it's supposed to do.
Yeah.
You know?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, we all know music is a healer, so
yeah, absolutely.
You know, and it heals mental, physical, whatever. It's a healer. And us as artists and musicians and producers, I'm sure, and just about everything on this call is just universal. And you just have to have that love for it. And I mean, for me, I'm not famous, but you know what? I don't care. Right. I love the music. I love the music. I mean, it's been my project that I put out was it's streaming. It took me till this year to do it. We not like I said, we ain't talking about age because we had that conversation a couple weeks ago. That's not an issue. It's the music. And all I care about is that people hear the music.
Right on. That's it. Just get me to the people.
That's my legacy. If you hear the music and you like the music, when I'm dead and gone, the music's still gonna be here.
Right. Speaking of legacy, that's what my Hungry Kids Can't Eat Moon Rocks. I don't know if y'all was gonna ask me that, but that's what the Hungry Kids Can't Eat Moon Rocks was about. You know, it was the legacy of my uncle. You know, it was Charles Cherry, who was the MLK of Daytona Beach, and I never knew it growing up. You know, he marched with King, knew King, bailed him out of jail before he was his bondsman. He knew him as Martin. You know.
Okay.
And I had no idea as a kid, you know, who my uncle was until the funeral. Because he owned the paper and he owned the Daytona Times newspaper. He owned a couple of radio stations down in Daytona. I mean, he was huge down there. And I knew when they did the obituary was actually, they did it in a paper, like a newspaper. So I'm looking through this like, wow. And I remember him just being there, man, laying there. And I said, you know what? You know, I'm going to dedicate a project to you. You know, and he was on the album cover. He's walking with Abernathy. That's him, Abernathy. And the whole concept, Hungry Kids Can't Eat Moon Rocks, came from them protesting the space program.
And I was just going to say,
yeah. So. You know, of course, they felt like, you know, government spending all this money going to the moon. We got kids starving here.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? So I saw that sign, man. I said, that's the cover. I told my man, I said, that's the cover right there, man.
All it takes is one thing to inspire.
Yeah.
You said his name was Charles Cherry?
Charles Cherry, yep.
Yeah, I'm going to look him up.
Yeah, look him up.
Definitely.
He went to Tuskegee. Like, he just rich in history down there in Florida, man. And, you know, and
I never even heard of the man till you mentioned him.
Yeah, check him out. You know, his aunt,
knowledge is power.
Yeah, his aunt is my aunt is Aunt Julia. She's still with us, thank God. And I think she just had her 94th or 96th birthday, but she's still. Oh gosh, bless her heart.
Yeah, for that.
Bless her heart. Bless her heart.
It's a beautiful thing, man. So that was the whole inspiration behind that project, and people really, really, really love that project. So
that makes a lot of sense, man. Because one of the things that I noticed, you know, going back through some of your music, man, is that it's real personable as far as your family is concerned.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because I can hear you talking to your relatives, and I can hear you, you know, talking about the way you grew up and how you grew up.
Wisdom from them as well.
Yeah. You know what I mean?
Was, you know, and that's you know, it just comes out. You know what I'm saying? Like the music, I always tell people, like, the music will tell you what to write. And if you get the music, it'll tell you what to say, man. It'll tell you the concept, it'll tell you everything. It's like it just speaks in your ear, like, yo, this is what I want you to say over me. You know what I'm saying? And
I thought it was just me.
Nah, man. It'll tell you what to say. So,
what about on this remix? I was vibing to your remix with someone. I've met a lot of artists, and I always wanted to reach out and touch her. Alicia Keys, man. How did that remix project come about?
That I was working out of what studio was that? I can't think of the studio.
Out of Atlanta?
Yeah, it was
Darp Studio.
No, it wasn't Darp. Right around the corner from Stankonia.
Don't worry about it.
It'll come to me. Yeah, it'll come to me. But anyway, so just heard the track, man, and just decided to get on it. You know what I mean? Like, just jumped on it. You know, I used to look for open spaces on tracks, and you know, if I, you know, and just go ahead and do it, man. And then they would just go. I think we got that's probably got one of my most views on YouTube. You know, is that actual music right there? It's with Alicia. So shout out to Miss Keys on that.
I got a question for you, sir. Even though LA just stole my magic question about Alicia.
On accord, we are
on the same page with that one. But anyway, I'll ask you another question.
Okay.
I'm a big fan of the Roots, and I see you did some work with them. How was that experience in the studio with them? And was Jay Dilla around when you worked with them?
Nah. Those were actually tracks that I did in Atlanta, man. Like I said, just jumped on the actual remix and put them out. You know what I'm saying? So I never had a chance. Now I did have a chance to actually share the stage with or be on stage with the Roots at one time when they came and performed at the Tabernacle, which was super dope. When they came out with the big you know how they come out with that was the first time I actually seen them come out with the big trombone or whatever. You know, they put on a whole theatrical show, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. So that was pretty cool. Yeah, man. Black Thought.
That's right.
Yeah, he up there with Andre to me, man. Like Black Thought is one of the greatest ever do, man. Greatest ever do. So.
Another thing, not to cut you off, I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
When you was describing with the tape, the cassettes and recording, and we used to call that back in New York, we used to call that pause mixtapes, because that's how we did all our, like we were somebody else's music and and they'd be like, how'd you do that? Like we went to the studio. No, we weren't in no studio. We did that at
right.
The coffee table.
There you go. Yeah.
I broke many a pause button in my day.
Yeah.
Me and X was talking about that the
other day. Add a little cut and scratch here, and let that 90-minute tape play and just add to it.
Back in the 70s, we did another thing in the 70s. We would put on an instrumental song like Love Is the Message or, you know, Barry White, Love Unlimited Orchestra. But then we throw on the other record, or we had that, you know, the boom box and record player. So we'd have the instrumental music, but then we'd have Red Fox or Richard Pryor, you know, doing notes. And running it like that.
That's super dope.
He goes all the way back to Studio 54, by the way.
Oh my God! Here we go.
You done told his age. Hold on.
Here we go.
We all gonna be sleeping 10 minutes. It's all good, man. But yeah, man, those remixes were definitely fun.
Now I noticed Jawz, you know, you pushing that hashtag Speak Life, man. Tell our viewers a little bit about that if they haven't came across.
Yeah, that's just, you know, it just goes with the brand. I was in LA. I moved to LA in 2011, and
is that where you're currently right now?
No, we're in Atlanta right now.
Okay, that's what's up.
Yeah, we're in Atlanta right now. But I moved to LA. 2011, 2013, end of 2013.
Okay.
And the church that I was going to out there, Full Harvest, Bishop Clarence McClendon would always talk about speaking life, you know. And so I just adopted it and just ran with it as far as the brand. And my manager was talking, he was like, yo, you know, that's Hollywood Kid. Shout out to Hollywood Kid, man. That's where I am now. But
what up, Hollywood Kid?
Yeah. He on the back.
He got the good internet over there too. You ain't glitched.
Yeah, he got the good internet and the good food. I had to get him out of the camera because he was finna cook something. I was like, hey, man, but yeah, so I adopted that from Bishop McClendon, man. It's just about whatever you saying about the power of the tongue. You know what I'm saying? And life and death. So. You know, we just ran Jawz of Life, Speak Life. It just was, it had to go that way. It had to go that way. You know what I mean? So that's what I'm trying to do, man. It's like the first thing that you see on my Instagram page as a description is vessel.
Okay.
That's what he told me.
Come on, somebody.
A vessel. You know what I'm saying? And then the entertainment. But I'm a vessel first. So I hope I can, and then, you know, also in the word he talks about going throughout the world, you know, and proclaiming it and speaking, you know, throughout the world. Well, I used to wonder, I was like, well, you know, how can we really go out throughout the world. Like this is a big place. But then he gave us the internet. So if you can touch somebody through a post, you ain't got to travel nowhere. You ain't got to go nowhere. You don't know who. Once you hashtag it and market it right, you don't know who coming across that post. You don't know who life you helping. That's why that's going throughout the world to me. So I was like, okay, that's a check off the list, because you can't take everything literal,
Right.
But he still gave us a way to be able to do it.
Right. It's almost like I don't know. It's like you're omnipresent now. You're everywhere at once.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's like people can access you even while you sleep. You got somebody over here wide awake.
There you go. There you go. Somebody up somewhere. You know what I'm saying?
Rocking with you.
Somewhere, man.
Rocking with you.
Yeah, that's where the Speak Life came from.
Okay. I was just curious why you decided to run with that hashtag.
Yeah.
It makes so much sense, just hearing your music and knowing you is like, oh yeah, that makes so much sense.
Yeah, and then the people, we was messing around with the t-shirts, man. We got them pressed up or whatever, and I don't know if you can see this one, but this one is another one of mine. It's Speak Truth or Die Line.
Okay.
All right.
I flipped the whole 50 Cent thing. You know what I'm saying?
Can our viewers check your merch out on jawsoflife.com, or you got another site for your merch?
I actually, as far as, they can hit me on any way they hit me, man. I like being personal. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to send you through our third party or whatever right now, because, I want to be able to have a hands-on. So if they just hit me, in the inbox, the IG is, jawsoflife.com. Okay. That's my Twitter. Twitter handle is just remember the Z. That's all I add. Just remember the Z. JWZ of Life. They come straight through me for the orders, man. We talking about it. I'm trying to custom make them for people. It might take me a minute, but if you want a orange shirt, or if you want a black shirt with orange glitter, I'm trying to get that for you. You know what I'm saying? Because you took your time out to be able to inquire about something that is gonna help me out. You know what I'm saying? To help spread my brand. So I like the hands-on feel as of right now.
Well, I know LA, he likes mediums. You got mediums?
You might be able to pull a medium out the back now. Pull a medium out the back for somebody.
I need the room when I'm dancing. My mouth.
Oh Lord!
See, I know he pitched it. I know I can always pitch to LA. He gonna hit it home. You know what I'm saying?
They have room to breathe.
What's going on? What's going on, Sins Abyss? We got some of our in-house producers in the building too.
What's happening?
Good, my man. I'm a big fan of the Dungeon family. First, awesome. I went to school with one of you guys, Slim.
Yeah, Slim. I love Slim, man. Yeah.
We went to school together, man. So I kind of grew up with stuff way back in the day. But little question for you. I always like to ask a rapper, what's that first rap, like that kid rap that that first rap you wrote? Spit something for us. Give us like that verse of that first rap, because it had to be that first one. Like, I can write. I know I can write.
Let me see.
Give us a line.
It was something like it had something to do. I remember writing about the enemy, man. Like it was something about the devil, and it was like it was something like that. Something about the devil trying to take my soul, bump him in his honor roll. That's the only thing I can really remember. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Bars.
I was gonna say bars.
It's like that was my first. It's crazy. I never get asked that, but I said if I get asked that, I gotta be prepared to answer it. You know what I'm saying? But that was like with the devil trying to bump him in his honor roll and something like that. And I remember that first line, and that. It went there, man. It just went from there.
Like, what's your creative process like, man? Like, do you come up with the titles and the theme of the song first? Or you got to hear that music first.
Pretty much the music.
Okay.
Yeah, like I remember I said it got to tell you what to say. So usually that's how I write. Like my creative process is just to get with some producers, man, and usually they'll either email me something. They always ask, well, what vibe you on? I say, well, just send what you think is hot. Okay. And let me see if it strike me. If it don't, I'm gonna let you know, because I don't want to hold this beat for somebody else that it may be for.
For sure.
You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
So just send it over to me and we go from there. Or you know, a lot of producers, I try to cater to how they work. A lot of people like for you to come in and build a track right there with them. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's another process. But I really never come up unless I get hit with something. Like, you know, I used to get a lot of bars and stuff by just driving around town, man. You know, it just come to you, and then you might speak it into your phone and save it in your notes. Now that we can do that, you know, and then I may put what I said to something later if it fits.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Right.
But usually, like I said, the track will tell you what to say. It'll tell you where to go. Like this project I'm working on now is an EP called A Swarm. And it's a little bit different than what people are used to hearing. Even my manager was like, "Yo, I'm loving this Jawz. This back well, you know what I'm saying? Because it was like Jawz of Life. You know, you get the whole, you know, the family version and the chick records and all this type stuff. But when I cut it down to Jawz, it's about being the MC, and that's the energy, that's the space I'm in right now. You know, with everything that's going on, and you know, with the way hip hop is going, and I want to let them know, hey, you know, y'all been sleeping on me for a minute, but I'm about to tell you something. You know what I'm saying? You about to hear something.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, go ahead.
Add on to that, because you got me in the zone right now when you talk about the bars and the MC and the lyrics. Because at one time I was an artist. I just do production now, music.
Okay.
But there's something that I got to get at you, and I got to ask you, because you're very passionate about your words. You pay attention to your words. You know what I'm saying? And damn it. Excuse me. Do you think if a person has a top 5, right, with all these rappers out now, do you think it's fair to call them an MC or a rapper if they did not write their material? It's a deep.
Whew.
It's a deep one.
I'm gonna say no.
Right.
I'm gonna say no. Yeah. I'm gonna have to go with you, a performer.
Right.
You're performing what somebody else wrote, you know.
Right.
And that may be what you do. Kudos to you. It's a business, right?
Yeah, it is.
It's a business. That might be what somebody wants, somebody needs. But as far as the pure art, man, you got to remember, we came up in a time where you earn respect by being original. You know, there's no other Eminem, there's no other Busta Rhymes, there's no other Snoop Dogg, there's none of that. You know what I'm saying? And now you got 12 million Lils somebody, you got 13 million young somebody, you know, and so, you know, and then it's just a business, man. Like ghostwriting, and you know, it's cool. I would ghostwrite, you know. I haven't tapped into it, but maybe I will, you know, because I'm getting at that point now where I can look into it. You know what I'm saying? And really attack the business side of it as well. It's still performing, still being an artist, but you know, that's what it can come to that as well. And I'm okay with it because I know the business side of it. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, man, I couldn't. That's just being where I came from. I can't. Nah, I think I haven't watched the whole video yet, but I don't know if y'all saw it. Busta Rhymes spoke on it not too long, a couple days. You saw that?
From.
That's where you got it from, right?
Yep.
I hadn't seen it yet, but I before I saw the title. And I saw how he was looking, and I was like, he on it. I'll come back to it. You know what I'm saying? He on it, man.
Now, and I'm not just saying this because you want to hear, you know, this LYVATION conversation with us, but showmanship is a major attribute, I think, to an MC. Right. And you've had, you know, we've seen you live. Me in LA, you know, we've seen you live several times, and you've had one of the best shows that I've seen personally, bro. You know what I'm saying? Even from some of these top tier MCs. You know what I'm saying?
Stage presence.
Yeah. How did you, you know, because we got a lot of young artists watching this right now. Give them some tips, man, that can help them in their career when it comes to that part of their business.
Yeah, well, I mean, my greatest advice anyway is to for young artists is to it's knowledge yourself, you know, because you have to know who you are before you start in this, or you can end up anybody.
Right.
Know who you are before you start this, or you can end up anybody else, man. If you see Lil Wayne performing and you like, oh, I like that. You start letting your hair lock. You start wearing, getting the tats on your face and whatever. Man, that's cool. That's what you want to do. But you got to make sure that's who you are, because when you get up in the morning, look in the mirror, the worst thing you want to do is call yourself out.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So that's just my advice, man. Just to know who you are before you even start, bro.
Do you practice, man?
Do I practice?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Like your live show performance. Do you practice? To this day, do you practice?
Absolutely. I haven't performed in a while because of the situation, but absolutely, man. That's what mirrors are for. You know what I'm saying? You get in that mirror, you get your comb, whatever you got. That's your microphone, and you go over your show. I think stage presence, it came from just learning from the elders, man. And like I said, I shout out to Applejack again, man, because we used to perform and we would rehearse, man. Like before we even all kind of shows, we would definitely go to rehearsal. Like you went over your show 3 or 4 times, and you didn't want to do the same show too many times. You know what I'm saying? Because you want to give people something different. So the whole stage presence and confidence just came from just being around him and just learning, okay, so this is how you carry yourself. And then, I had a guy that told me around 2004, he was like, Jawz, you tight, man, but I want you to put your personality into it. And I was like, that makes sense. You know what I'm saying? So now you see me, you're going to see, just like we're sitting here talking and smiling, I get on stage with that same confidence.
Yeah. See, and that's another, I think that's another thing. That's another thing that sets you apart, bro. You can see, like, you up there enjoying yourself.
Yeah.
You're not up there mean. You're not up there mean mugging the crowd. You're not cursing everybody out. You know what I'm saying?
No, man. People didn't pay to come see that, man. And if they did, they had the wrong spot. If I'm on the bill, you know, like that's not what I'm gonna bring to it. Now, I love going to spots like that where you don't think that's coming to the stage, and then you come out there and you have people like, oh, okay, well, who is this dude? You know, you want to get off the stage, ask and have people asking about you. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Walking up to you, dapping you up. You know, at the time when CDs, I gotta get them CDs out of the way. At the time when CDs were really, you know, here. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. You want to make sure you got off a couple when you got off the stage, and let because people can take you home on the spot like that. You know what I'm saying? So the stage, man, the stage is I really do miss it. And I have to be honest. You know, I had a show that was coming up on the 19th. It was the one.
Was that the one in LA?
Huh?
Was that the one in LA?
No. This was one that was coming up
local
later on this month.
In Atlanta?
Yeah, it was gonna be the first show for a while, but the venue never opened back up, so it had to get pushed back. But I actually felt again like I used to feel when I first started, like them butterflies and stuff. I was like, okay, this nervous. Is good. Like I ain't performing in the
It's like I better go practice. I better go practice.
Yeah, I need to practice. I'm listening to my songs to make sure, you know what I'm saying? Like, but it was all an excitement, man. Again, to be able to get back on stage. But so now I got a little bit more time. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna keep working it, man, and really work this new project. I'm really excited about it. Like I said, it's another side of me that people aren't really used to, or that I'm actually going back to. And I like where I'm at, and I'm gonna continue putting out music, man. Like my manager won't let me quit. He won't let me do it. You know what I'm saying? He's like, you got to keep making music.
You got a good manager.
All right. So what else would you do besides if you wasn't doing music? What do you think you'd be doing? You know what I mean?
If I wasn't doing music,
yeah. What's your fallback? What's your go-to? Like your plan B?
Probably coaching baseball.
Okay.
You know, being around some type of a baseball or a team or something like that. You know what I mean? Because that's like just another passion of mine.
Like a youth league or something like that?
Yeah, or a high school or, you know, wherever I can help out, you know? I still love. I'm still athletic. I still love to, you know, play. If I can get on a team now, I would. If I had the time for it, you know what I'm saying?
Okay.
So that would definitely be something I would look into. If I just, you know, the time presented itself. Okay. But I got kids, man. I got like my youngest is 15 now. He's playing football. So, you know, I was a big football. I wanted to play football, but I didn't play football. But I played intramural at Alcorn. So seeing him out on the field now, I just want to make sure he's right, you know, and put his, you know, put the time and development in him.
Are any of your children musically inclined like you are?
He can sing. My youngest can sing, you know, but he, you know, he started off singing, but he really kind of it's just a gift now. You know, his heart is in the sports. You know how kids, they go through their phases, man. You kind of got to let them be to find their way. You know what I'm saying? So he started off.
If my daddy was Jawz of Life, I'd be like, look, I need a couple features real quick. You know what I'm saying?
But the good thing, hey,
so I can go to high school and be the man real quick. Like,
here's the thing,
like, though. Dad, can we go to the studio tonight?
For real.
No, the school night.
The beautiful thing is, I have both my boys on records. You know,
you do?
Okay. That's cool.
The Hunger Kids Can't Eat Moonrise. This the first
track. Okay, I got you.
Right. That's what's up.
That's him on the first. That's him on the first track. And then I did a mixtape of Michael Jackson. I don't know if y'all seen that on the site, but I did a tribute to Michael Jackson. I did one for Mike and I did one for Luther. Please go check those out.
I didn't get to those yet. I didn't check I didn't get that.
I saw the title for the Luther. I was like, oh really?
Oh man, I don't really appreciate because what we did, we just the producers MFN, they you know, they presented me with the body of music with the samples in it, right? So you know, Michael Jackson, they just flipped the beats on him, man. And I was a big Mike fan, big Prince fan. But then when they presented the Luther, I was like, oh man, y'all killing it. So we started putting those out, you know.
Okay.
And they got crazy reviews, man. Like people love it. You like Mike and Luther, you're gonna love those projects.
Okay.
Definitely.
Yeah. Let me ask you one more question.
Yeah.
Was there ever a moment where you were performing? I'm pretty sure you did a lot of shows with your peers that's in the Dungeon family with Outkast and Goody Mob. Was there ever any show that you can name where they put you on your, like, you know, kept you on your toes, like, you know, competitive ride, and your show was just incredible? Like, can you explain one of those moments?
I really never performed with them, like Outkast or Goody Mob. Like, here's the thing about Jawz of Life, man. I'm really a loner when it comes to that. You know, it's good to be affiliated. I love the brothers. I love them. But Ray told me straight up, and this is the honest to God truth. He told me, he said, man, you don't need us. He said, you don't need us. You know, and where they had to really mold Outkast to become Outkast. He said, the good thing about me is when I came to the scene, I was already, remember, Hurricane just took me over there. I was already Jawz of Life. You know what I'm saying? Gotcha. I knew what I was going to say. I knew what I wasn't going to say. You know, it wasn't no follow the leader or nothing like that. So we have a mutual respect for each other, you know. So it was never a time where, you know, we actually was on the same bill, but it was always a time where we may have performed like with you know, when they came down to the stages that I was on, you know what I mean? And we would run across each other. We may have shared the same bill here in Atlanta, you know? But we also work together, and we have been in the studio together and vibe together. So yeah. You know, Future is actually Dungeon. Y'all know that, right? Future?
No, I didn't know he was part of
yeah, that's Rico's cousin. So just like with Future, you never see Future really, you know, a part of the whole, you know, family aspect of it, but he is Dungeon family because that's Rico's cousin. It was Meathead back in the day. You know what I'm saying? So Ray would always tell me, you know, you don't have to ride off. It's great to be affiliated, and I'm honored. Trust me, I'm honored to be affiliated. Like, you know, I look up to. I'm a fan. I'm still a fan. Everything Outkast fans share on Instagram, I'm sharing too, because I still love them like that. You know, like I'm an outsider. You know what I mean? But the point I'm trying to make is that I came into the scene, and he said that's one thing we did not have to do with you, man. You just do you.
You held your own.
Yeah, I held my own. So I get the respect. You know, he called me. He said, "You the Will Smith of the Dungeon family." You know, I am who I am, man. I just am who I am. You know, and that's, they respect it. So that's what it is.
I respect it even more.
Appreciate you. No doubt. No doubt.
Hey, we got one of our X. We got one of our panel members that just jumped in. Divine, you with us tonight, man?
Yes, indeed. Peace and love, family. How y'all doing?
Oh, we doing great, man. How you doing, man?
All right.
Word is born. Word is born. It's nice to make your acquaintance. Jawz of Life.
Yes, sir. Respect, man.
Yeah. I tried to go on and do a little research today when I was working at the same time. The old ladies wouldn't let me get off the phone. But I did check out a little bit of your page, man. I'm real impressed with your work, man.
Thank you, man. Appreciate you for taking the time to do so. Serious business.
Sir.
No doubt.
What was you about to say, X? I'm sorry. Go ahead, bro.
Yeah, like I say, I really love your wordplay and your wordsmith and your lyricism. But you said this next project, you just going by Jawz. Is this going to be like a more aggressive MC style, or you just that's, changing your flow?
Like my man's over here like this. Like, yeah.
You rapping.
Yeah, that's what he's been waiting on. It. Like, you know, he's been waiting on it. Like, it's still gonna be Jawz of Life now, but I'm just saying in the artist sense, I cut it down. When I'm eating them seeds, it's Jawz, and that's the vibe I'm on right now. Okay. I done gave y'all a lot of you know, family. Y'all know my family. Friendly. Yeah. I can tell you this. I'm gonna be on this for a couple of projects. I'm already tell you this. You know.
So you about to unleash the beast, in other words, huh?
Yeah. Finna be real shark time around here.
Right.
Right.
But and I gotta send the brother some love though. Goody Mob drop at midnight, so y'all make sure y'all definitely go pick that up. That Survival Kit.
That's what's up.
Yeah.
That's what's up.
Goody Mo B. Right. I heard that first single, Frontline. I'm digging that, man. It's good to see Cool Joe, man. It's good to see them brothers back out again.
Yeah, man.
For real. Even CeeLo back with them.
Yeah.
Man, it's been a long time, bro.
Yeah, man. That's one thing. The Dungeon is, man, it's timeless, you know. You know, they really put the A-Town on the map, man.
It's funny, man. My first musical venture here in Atlanta, I actually opened up for the Witch Doctor. It was the Witch Doctor's CD release party.
Okay.
And I got booked on the bill to open up. You know what I mean?
Word.
It was rough because I wasn't. Didn't nobody know who I was. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I got out there. Okay. Nah, it was cool, man. I got out there. I met everybody. You know what I'm saying? I got out there and rock. And then, you know, over the years, you know, I would just bump into them periodically at different events and different things like that. So it was pretty cool. You know what I mean? But but like, you know, where do you see yourself in about 5 years, man? I know that's that corny question people like to ask. You know what I'm saying? But like, you know, what can we see, you know, in the future for you?
And the future for me is keep making this music, man. Like,
all right.
I think that as long as people listening, I'm gonna keep making it. If you got ears, I'm trying to get to them. You know,
that's right.
So, like, the people won't let me stop. And the inspiration is continue to see the elderly. I mean, the elder statesmen still put out music like Busta Rhymes. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, he putting out coming at you. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is like he's just still hungry, man, and I'm still hungry with it. You know, Drake said, well, you know, the moment I stop having fun with it, I'll be done with it. You know,
right?
And that's I can really attest to that, because if it's not fun for you no more, if you can't create no more, it's just like Andre, man. Like Andre really, he got all of that stuff. He did it all. We can't force that man to make music. You know what I'm saying? You can't do it. As much as we want, as much as the fans want him, you know, want him to, you can't force him to. He's happy going around traveling with that doggone flute. Yeah, he don't get my album. But I'm just saying he's just happy just doing him, man. Yeah. And so when it gets to that point, you know, my wife and I have a business. I'm putting more time into that. I'm sacrificing a lot of my time to help our business grow.
What kind of business is it?
What is it?
She's esthetician.
Okay.
Esthetician. So we have a business called At the Pore, like at the core.
Keep that skin clean. That's right.
Yeah, man. Yeah. So you know, she went to school for it, and she sacrificed a lot for me. You know what I'm saying? In this thing, you know, my late nights and everything like that. So when she went to school and she got, you know, she graduated, and now we're able to build this brand, and I'm able to help her. So I put a lot of my time into her now. You know, I still enjoy making music, but a lot of times, I mean, I've sacrificed as well. I've cut back on my shows that I was doing. You know, I was doing a weekly show myself. You know, but I decided to say, you know what, this isn't the season for it. Let me help you. You know what I'm saying? And let's help ourselves and get this business off the ground good. And if you know, the music is gonna always be there. And thank God I have a history. I have help. You know what I'm saying? If I wanted to start something tomorrow, I could do it. You know, I can start a podcast myself tomorrow, you know?
Right.
But my time and my focus has really been into the family and just helping us grow on a whole nother level as far as, because that's new. You know what I'm saying? That's new. So we got to get that up and rolling. So that's where a lot of my time has been.
Okay, that's nice.
So has any of the local radio stations asked you to do a morning show or something like that?
Hey, I like you, man.
You is co-producer.
I'm just saying, man, you there, man. You are there, bro.
Keep on saying what you're saying, because that's gonna come. No, nobody's asked me yet, but I've had the opportunity, like I said, to co-host different types of shows, and I love it, man. I'm a people person, and it's just a matter of time. Man. Yeah, it's just a matter of time. It's coming. I know it is, but I don't want to, like I said, I don't want to rush it. I want to make sure the foundation of our business gets on where it needs to be, and then you know everything else will come. Because like I said, it ain't nothing but the thing about right now is that you can only do so much right now anyway. So if I can put the time and effort into helping our business grow before we able to get back into the quote unquote the world and do what we're doing, then you know I want to be able to do that.
Okay. Awesome. Before we let you get out of here, Jawz, man, we really appreciate your time and your talent, my brother.
Thank you, man. Appreciate y'all.
Yeah, man. Anybody else got one last question or remark for Jawz?
I just made it. Yeah, I just got one. Being that you have brought up Busta Rhymes, and I was watching the interview, I believe it was on Fat Joe, and he was speaking about how when he was coming up and just getting the Flip Mode Squad started and everything, how him and Goody Mob and the Dungeon Family used to, you know, be in Atlanta kicking it a lot. Was you ever able to enjoy any of that with them?
I didn't, but I was able to enjoy just being, you know, with the family, man, and you know, just being around them, and a lot of great times that people will never know about. Let me give y'all a story real quick. So Andre 3000 came over to Dungeon East one time. It was July 7, 2008. And I promise you, I heard some music that this guy hasn't released yet, that if he releases tomorrow would blow what's out now just clean off the map. This is 2008, y'all. You feel me? So those times like that, man, has been priceless. I have, you know, I've been around my celebrity friends. I share this story. You led me to this story where I got the call from Hurricane again to come to the studio.
Yeah.
So I'm at work at Bank of America, and he calls me and it's like, "Hey, Jawz, come to the studio." I'm like, "Dude, I just can't. I'm at work. I can't tell these people I got to leave." So I had to come up with some type of family emergency excuse, right?
Hey, it's a hurricane. I gotta
go. So he calls me, man, and
the storm coming. All right.
Yeah, man. He called me. He's like, "Jawz, you gotta come to the studio. You gotta come to the studio now." I'm like, "Damn, I gotta come now." Like, yeah, man. All right. So I got out of work. I'm still in my clothes, my work clothes and everything, man. So I head to the studio. I get to the studio, get in. They working out of Tree Sounds over there off of, you know what Tree Sounds is, right?
Tree Sound Studios, yeah.
Yeah, Peachtree Industrial. So I walk upstairs to the A room, of course. Walk in the door, and there's DMC sitting on the couch.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
So
the legend himself.
Point, yeah, at that point, you know, that's like you walking in and seeing Jordan. You know what I'm saying? If you're a basketball player, it's like you walking in and seeing Jordan. So he's sitting on the couch, And I'm like, okay. So I'm trying not to be starstruck. We see a lot of entertainers in Atlanta. We see them all the time. You know what I'm saying?
Legend, man.
Yeah, but to see DMC sitting in there, I'm like,
did you fan out? Did you fan out on him, man?
I didn't fan out, but let me tell you how the weekend. Let me tell you how the weekend went, right? So I'm sitting in there, and we actually Hurricane said, you know, they put on the beat. And he was like, "Yo, I want you to get on this record with D." I'm like, bet.
Wow.
Where the paper? So I'm sitting there, I'm writing. Actually recorded the verse, but it never came out due to DMC's voice at the time. You know what I'm saying? And so I mean, I'll go to my grave knowing, hey, I did a record with DMC. You know what I'm saying?
I know that's right, boy.
Here's the funny thing, though. Here's the fun. He was here for the whole weekend, right? Wasn't no Uber, wasn't no Lyft, or none of that at the time. He needed to get around Atlanta. Guess who was the first Uber and Lyft in Atlanta?
Oh, go ahead with your bad stuff.
So listen, I'm riding. I'm taking DMC wherever he wanted to go.
That's crazy.
I remember riding down 20. I promise y'all, coming from Decatur, and I'm looking Hurricane in the back. DMC sitting on my passenger side now, in my Montero Sport, and I'm just driving. I'm looking, and I'm like, that's DMC. I got Daryl Mack in it.
That was his starstruck moment right there.
If Instagram would have been out, I could see you.
Oh man,
you'd have been driving like this.
It took my phone.
You gave him the Outcast special.
Huh?
You gave him the Outcast special. It's like, let me take you through my hood, roll out your window so you can see it real good.
I'm telling you, man. I was gone, man, just to have him in my car. I think I watched my car.
That's awesome,
man.
Wow.
Yeah, but I dropped him off at Benny.
Still got that car?
Waited on him. I was like his taxi cab, huh? I was his taxi cab.
That car?
I sold. I actually gave that car away.
You sold it?
I gave that car away. I sure did. I gave it away, man.
Wow.
That was the selling point. DMC sat right here.
Yeah, sat right there.
Right.
I'd have been like, "Can you autograph my glove box, my seat?"
Right. Then you definitely keep the car.
Yeah. Right. I'd have auctioned that joint off.
You know what?
For real.
I remember my first, it was probably like my second real concert I ever went to, was the Def Jam, when they took everybody on tour back in the day.
I was at that show in Philly. LL Cool J, he was 16.
Oh yeah, he came out of the box.
Came out with the big radio on the stage. Yeah.
Okay. My Hurricane story is I was in the front. I was pinned up against the gate. And Hurricane came out there with a 40-ounce and poured 40 over. It was like me and my cousins. He just covered us in beer. You know, that's my Hurricane story. I'll never forget that.
Here's mine. Here's mine.
One other story. So that particular weekend, right? We went to I think it was Fuel in Atlanta. It was a club in Buckhead, right? So we said we went to the club. Of course we went around. We went in the back, you know, and I'm walking in the back behind Hurricane and DMC. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, yeah, open the door. So we walk in there and went upstairs, and as we was headed to the VIP, Mike Vick was sitting on a bar stool.
Oh my goodness!
Right. So Vic is sitting on the bar stool, and so I'm walking past Hurricane walked past, and DMC was before me. And so, you know, they dapping up or whatever. Then I dapped Michael Vick up, and I leaned in his ear. I said, remember this. My name is Jawz of Life, and my alias is Michael Spit. and I kept walking. He was looking like, yo, okay, I feel that. So we got to the DJ booth, man, and the DJ was like, yo, hold on. So they was like, yo, we ain't just got anybody in the house tonight. He said, turn on the lights. He said, if you got a pair of Adidas on, everybody you got to take a pair. If you got some Adidas on, hold your Adidas up in the sky. So you just start seeing shoes go up in the air, right?
Yeah.
Wow. And so he was like, ladies and gentlemen, blah, blah, blah. Introducing Daryl Mack, rocking his everybody just went crazy.
Wow.
That
That's
was
awesome.
Night, bro.
That's awesome.
Turning up before it turned out was popular, right?
Never forget that.
Well, what was your story, Apex? I want to hear what happened to you. What happened?
I got to see Hurricane on the Raising Hell tour with Run DMC and the Beastie Boys.
Mm-hmm.
I was at that show too in Philly.
Hurricane. I never got to meet him. But the funny part of that is when in one of their performances, how you was talking about, I think it was Strong that said that when he was pouring the beer, and that incident under the stage, coming out of the stage, you can imagine what that is. And Hurricane was pouring beer all over it.
Yeah,
I don't want to say what it was, but it came
like
out in the middle of the stage like that. And that's my memorable moment of him, because I've never. Those Beastie Boys were wild on stage.
Yeah, they threw it out in the crowd and everything. I remember that.
Yeah, the hotel room wasn't safe.
He was cool. He was signing autographs for people. He was cool. I didn't get a chance to get to him, but I saw him. At least I can say that. You know what I mean? I saw him and Run DMC when they were together before DMC lost his voice.
Yeah,
and Jay was still alive. Rest in peace. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think I went to every show when they came to Philly. Me and my cousin, huge Run DMC fans. I had like 5, 6, 7 pairs of Adidas in different colors. No shoestrings in them.
Yeah. That's still one of my 80s. That's another 80s.
Look at Apex. Apex got every pair they ever made. Watch, look. He got every pair they ever made.
I can believe it. Hey, they made that thing synonymous among our generation.
Yeah.
Every time I see somebody a pair of Adidas, I always think of them.
Yeah.
You cannot associate Run DMC and Adidas brand. They made that. Adidas made their money off of them.
Yeah.
Forget all the sport.
They had their own Run DMC Adidas.
Yeah, they did. They did.
I had a pair.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Wow.
My manager just told me they got a new pair coming out. They got a new pair of shoes coming out too.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That's timeless, man.
Buy them.
Yeah, man.
Timeless.
Shell told Merlot. That's my aliases too. I used to host on stage. I had my wine in one hand and my shells on the other. They call me Shell told Merlot.
Shell told Merlot.
Oh man.
Bro, you weren't a B-boy if you didn't have no Adidas, man.
Yeah, for real, man. You had to have your pair of shells, man.
You had to have them stripes, man.
Well, you know, coming up, I couldn't always get what I wanted. I used to have to rock the Wild Styles. The generic brand. Until I started working for myself, I used to buy my own shoes then.
There you go.
That's right.
You said he had 4 stripes? What'd you say? He had 4 stripes?
Yeah. Still had the shell toe though, and I still took the laces out.
Hey, that's right. No shoestrings in them. That's right. That's right. Oh man, I'm telling you.
They even had a sneaker named after the LA called LA Gear. Remember that?
Yeah, I remember LA Gear.
I remember those.
Yeah.
With the light up in the back.
When I was in LA, KRS had a show in Malibu.
Mm-hmm.
And so he allowed us to come on stage, and I had him sign my my shell toe. I still got that pair of shell toes too.
That's real.
Mm-hmm.
So, him and
you kept that, but not the car. I said you kept the shell toe, but not the car.
Right. Yeah, I get that car with, man.
Hey, you learned the lesson. That's what I ain't getting rid of this shoe.
Yeah, I still got that shoe.
That's what's up, man.
No doubt.
Yeah, thank you for joining us today, man. Appreciate you giving your time.
Appreciate y'all, man. It's been
I tell you.
Yeah, Jawz, when your next project come out, man, we're gonna have to do this again, bro.
Please.
I would definitely appreciate
that, man.
We definitely gonna have to do this again, man. You know, we just want to send you our blessings and send you all our good energy, man. Keep doing what you're doing, man. Thank you for being the MC that you are. You know what I'm saying?
Respect.
You're definitely inspiring to myself and the rest of the crew, I'm sure. You know what I mean?
Oh, yes.
Thank y'all.
Just want to say real quick, y'all. Stay humble, man. Your humility is amazing.
Thank you.
I don't see a lot of that in the industry these days, but it shines, like blatantly shines.
Thank
you. Keep that.
No doubt.
If you're ever near Memorial Drive in 285, give us a shout.
Yeah, no doubt, man.
Oh yeah, you gotta come by the new studio, man. Come check us out over here, man. Just grace us with your presence, man. You know, we do a little listening. We do a listener party or something when the new music come out, man. We get it in, bro.
Why not?
We got you. We got you. Just let us know.
Y'all made me want to jump on a plane.
Yeah, I was about to say, y'all let me know when, man, so I can hit 95 and head on down there, bro. 85, well, yeah, I get there.
Come on, man. We you know, hopefully, we get clear this pestilence is out here, man. So get together.
That's what it is. Pestilence.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. But with that being said, I wanna thank all of our viewers, man. Don't forget to subscribe, leave us a comment. Jawz want to hear from y'all. We want to hear from y'all. Make sure y'all check out my brother. Tell them where they can find it. Tell them where they can find it, Jawz.
Yeah, you can go to jawzoflife.com, man. Jawzoflife.com with the Z. Make sure you put that Z in there. And then you can find it on every digital platform. You know, it's out there on all platforms. So go get everything, man. Just do your research. Hit me up. I won't let you down. I promise you I won't let you down.
Word is bond.
Appreciate that. Let's give my brother a big round of applause, man.
Good job, man.
Peace and love, Nation.
Yeah. But let's take you back to them rock days. You can press record if you want to, I don't care. Yeah.
Thank you for doing that too.
Ain't no excuse to be out the booth, get it done. It ain't time for no Jawz of Life unsung. Somebody please tell my college coach I'm still writing. I'm still at it. In addition, they still sleeping. That's Craftmatics. And it's a rhythm of spit. Still write the rhythms and kicks. I lit beats till they do not exist like poof. The flame from the brain be the proof. 180, one lady told me my lines define truth. But I ain't let it go to my noggin. Just call Colin like you got a hook for me like life. You know I do. But we ain't never hook up. Then I heard my name on this diss record. But he was just playing. Cause I still get respect like a pothole. You go around me and what I stand for. Professional after the prefix pro. Can't say you didn't get it, this your memo. Since the demo, the boy been cold. My talk beanstalk just had to grow. You ain't know I drove limos, did you? Know my way around the A. Like shouted low driver when they rode them by the flame. One last time, the product of the tree of life. I came from divine, no hate. I armor all applaud, all shine. Knew I speak Dungeonese when I heard in due time.
That's real, Ray.
The truth will always suffer to the memes. Ain't gotta like it, done my job if it seems. My daddy lent me senses in my jeans. No knowledge in the pocket is college without the dean. I try to keep it clean, not eczema. They pushing lean and our kids is getting leaner. I researched the definition of FEMA. Old school, make it clear, Zima. Had a dream that I was rocking arena. Before Beyonce, I said hi, Mrs. Tina. But Mr. Harper got his Miss Parker. And Lord help me be a good steward over Martha folk working. Overtime on the job that might cease. Receive a thank you, they might throw in a fleece. Don't spend your time helping companies feast. Cause Coca-Cola ain't trying to help Tyrese. And never let them see you lose your peace. They'll kick you while you down after slipping on the cleats. You got the answers, let the world cheat. Move your hand for the next man, please. He needs to see thee. Doc said I'm in need of vitamin D. I said it's hard to get more from a son that lives in me. No three-piece suits, but I'ma still teach them. You can't be hauling goals, you ain't trying to reach them. I'm from Georgia, of course I wanna impeach them. Sammy Sosa turned MJ, the world bleached them. Oh, that's a skin disorder, my dish you never ordered. You could've been got this and other things I slaughtered. Go off like Black Thought in that chair. But I'm in and out with mine, ain't got 10 minutes to spare. Take your pick, you can go Ricka, Gucci, LaFleur. My uncle told us income streams, way to prepare, yeah. While y'all elevated, I took the stairs. When Cass elevated, I took the stairs. A lot was at stake, I was medium rare. But now I'm well done and having fun, yeah.